Hello everybody, and welcome to my video on adding a extension cord to a cordless power tool. I found that great number of cordless tools, specifically Ryobi brand, because I bought into that battery system. The tools end up being significantly heavier because of the battery being added on, and while this normally isn't an issue, sometimes it does wear on you a bit. I came up with this for use with my hooking a trim router up to my lathe. One, to act as a counterbalance, and two, to help pull the weight away from the back end of that tool. And I found that it also works useful for being able to hook a battery up to your belt or to another spot with a little bit of length. You're still not tied to an electrical outlet. You can go wherever you could with batteries for the most part. But it just gives you that added little bit of capability. The project is simple enough. This is a converter from, I believe, a DeWalt style battery to allow it to be used on a Ryobi style tool. They make other converters as well, so I'm sure there's other options as to convert one to another. I like this one because it had the spade connectors on it that allowed you to use just that simple connection, and I did a tie down. The other tool I used is an adapter that I found on Amazon that allows you to use your battery for things other than Ryobi tools. I believe it calls it out for power wheels specifically, but it's proved useful for this as well. Both of these are available on Amazon. I'll put links in the description below. I'm not an affiliate, so I'm not going to get anything from it. It's just something that's useful. And the third item is going to be the cord itself, which is just a leftover standard computer cable. Now that will have 3 wires in it, black, white, and a green grounding cable wire. I cut the green grounding back to the ends and just used, yes, it's white and black in the cable up here. The coming out of the adapter is red and black. I simply set white up to red. Things to keep an eye out for, and we'll see if you can see this, but there is a positive and a negative up here at the top of this. You're also going to see it at the top here, and on your batteries themselves. So it's just a matter of making sure positive, positive, negative to negative when you hook this up. I would recommend doing a continuity test or a voltage check when you're done, just to make sure you do have it wired up backwards. I'm not certain what would happen if you hooked up a battery backwards to one of your tools. You can only imagine that some of the electronics inside probably wouldn't like that. And that's the tool. I actually look forward to using this with my weed whacker. With a 3 or 4 amp hour battery on the back of it, which is what you need to last any significant period of time, it gets very heavy. I'm hoping that by having this hooked to my belt, as opposed to the end of the tool itself, it's going to give me a little bit more maneuverability and a little bit easier on the arms. A couple things to keep in mind. This little plastic cap here does come off on this model. You might be able to see the screws down on the inside. You can see where one of the heads stripped off, so you do have to be careful with that. But it is a little bit of a space in there. I pulled it apart to make sure that these screws were not going to impact the cables, and I'm going to go back in there and put some liquid electrical tape or hot glue over those, just a little additional security on that, because it will move around some, I'm sure, over time. Same thing with this. Before I put these screws in, there is a lot of empty space in here because this was designed to adapt a battery to a tool. If it were just made for the sole purpose of an extension cord, it probably could be significantly smaller than it is now. It also has a USB port, which I'm sure somebody would find useful, but I don't know that it would be particularly useful in this case. But as I showed, very useful. hopefully this helps somebody else out there. If you think you know somebody who uses a lot of cordless power tools that might find this interesting, by all means share this with them. It's not a complicated project. I'm honestly surprised that something like this isn't available on the market already. Or if it is, I wasn't able to find it. So everybody, y'all have a great day. I'll put a couple links in the video description of the router that I hooked up to my lathe, so that you can see this battery system in use on that. And y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you.